how to complete the assignment. So I've gone to SoundTrap.com. I'm going to join SoundTrap for personal use, and I'm going to just sign up with Google because that's the way it has to be. And here I am at the first screen. I'm not going to upgrade, and then I have a free user, and I can do a profile if I want. I could add a picture, a little bio, but I'm going to skip all that, and I'm going to look at this front page. There is a folder here for my projects. Quick recordings are things you do on your phone, which you can do and then upload into this studio because there is a phone app you can use. But right now we're going to click Enter Studio. Now we have this new project dialog. I'm going to click on Music because I want a podcast. And I am going to use the Patterns Beatmaker, so we can try it now. And then here's the Beatmaker patterns that we saw in class. So once again, I'm going to start with my basic rock pattern, which we learned in class, which is a kick on every beat, a snare on the back beats 2 and 4, and then the hi-hat twice every beat. Like that, and then I'm just going to press play. Now, as it says up here, use this bar to adjust the input area in patterns. Okay, fine, thank you. And this bar here, I'm going to make this pattern longer. I'm going to make it 2 bars long. And you can see down here now that the pattern is now 2 bars long. You can see the difference in the purple colors between the part of the pattern that's cycling and the part that is not. Okay, so let me go ahead and make my kick, my snare, maybe put a little anticipation of that second snare. I might do some fun stuff here, and let me listen, right? I'm going back to the beginning. That's kind of fun. If I press the record button, it's going to overdub. We call it overdub. Now, I didn't see that because it wasn't really following me. So here I'm going to click follow the beat to have that follow where my beat is. Okay. So if I press record, da 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 da, it didn't cycle when I recorded. The reason for that is a little strange thing. When you start recording over a pattern that you've already made, notice that the cycle will turn off. So I click record and see how this turns off? That's not so cool. So what you have to do is, if you want to overdub something you've already made and are listening to, you click record, and then while your metronome is getting ready, you click cycle on, and then it will continue to cycle as you make some changes to your beat. Now this follow can get a little annoying because it might be hard to see. See if I can add an instrument on the fly. I can. I'm going to choose a different instrument, maybe a high tom, maybe start making little melodies. I'm going to add another instrument, a low tom. So let's do that. I'm going to turn off follow beat, so I'm going to put in a low tom and a high tom here. I kind of like that. Alright, that's pretty hip. Okay, cool. So I have this pattern up here. I like that it's kind of my basic beat, right? I can do a couple of things. One thing I could do is perhaps loop this. And to do a loop, you move your mouse towards the end of your pattern here. You can see your pattern is in this track, right? This pattern is in this track. I could loop this by putting my mouse at the upper right hand corner, and I can drag out another 2 bars, 4 bars, right, etc., etc. So now I've got 8 full bars, I believe. Let's try to make the cycle here, and let's count from the start and play. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's going to go back to the beginning. Okay, press my space bar to stop. That's all fantastic. Already I've got a pretty good beat. Now, I'd like you to make a 32 bar pattern. Okay, there are various ways you could do this. You could edit this particular pattern. Another way might be to make a new pattern altogether, right? So I'm going to add a new track. I'm going to choose drum and beats, and I'm in the Patternmaker already, right? And it's going to give me an 8 bar pattern. And so I could make a new pattern on this second track. Now if I only want to make a new pattern and don't hear the old pattern, I can go up here to this track control and click mute. Okay, so now I won't hear that first pattern, I'll only hear my second pattern, and I want to maybe just do again a 2 bar pattern. So I make that there, I click record, right, I have get ready, 2, 2, here I go, boom. Notice my cycle is off, right? It's a very strange thing with this program, but when you're recording a new track, you always have to click cycle on if you want that cycle to happen, or while you're recording. It's really bizarre. I don't like that, but that's the way it is, etc. Okay, so that's one way to do that, right? Then what's interesting is I could move this by clicking in the middle of it and move it to the end of this track here. Maybe I'll loop that a little bit, right? It's not a very good track, I apologize for that. So now I unmute this. Over here, maybe I don't want to cycle this playback, or maybe I do, so if I'm going to cycle it to hear the whole thing again, I'm going to go back to the beginning, press play, and listen to the whole thing now. Okay, to me that might work as a break. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and right where my cursor is, place my cursor here, and I'm going to paste it back into that track. So now I even have a longer track, which is that long. Okay, so I can start playing this, and we'll hear that it's a nice break. Yes, but I think that's going to be too long. So if I want the pattern itself to be shorter, in the lower right hand corner I can drag this, and I only want this to be 16 bars, right? Now what's weird is that it says 17, but it's actually 16 full bars, because they start at bar 1, not bar 0. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Our break. Then we go back to the first pattern. Okay? So that's how I might build up a pattern, and I'm going to continue on with this for 32 bars. Okay? Now, when I'm done there, click Save. So now that's saved in my projects. There are a few things I want to show you in this interface. Some of the more important things are down here at the bottom. You have your tempo settings. So I can click on that and I could increase or decrease my tempo, right? I can also tap on it to set a tempo. Maybe I want it much faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's gone up to 131 now. I can adjust that a little bit. Okay, I think that sounds pretty good, right? Another thing is I can choose to turn my metronome on or off, right? Also, there are metronome settings, and here is the kind of metronome sound. I can choose from a click or a tick or a hi-hat or clave. I can adjust the volume of my metronome. I can also adjust this count in. So you notice when you start recording, at the top it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. It gives you that count in. You could make that shorter if you like, right? Maybe I'll use a different sound, and then let me start recording yet another track. Why not? I'm going to add a track, another drum and beats track, use my patterns. I'm actually here now going to change drum set, and let me see what that sounds like. I'm going to do that by clicking on this button here, which is what's called the solo button. What this solo button does is we can't hear the other tracks because we're just listening to the varsity Foley. And also you can see that the R button is clicked, which means this is the track that I'm recording on. Okay, I'm going to make this much shorter again. I'm going to click record. I'm going to click this cycle on while I'm doing this. I don't want it to follow my beat. I'll just do that myself. This has a whole different kinds of sounds. And I'm just messing. Whoa, that's pretty fun. I'm going to change this instrument. I don't particularly like how that sounds. Let me try to see what a mid-tom sounds like on that track. Okay, this is kind of strange. So it's okay though. I might use it for a break, right? So I actually could layer it onto this break. Whoops. I'm going to drag this. I don't want to edit it. I'm going to drag it and maybe put it at the end of this break. I'm going to unsolo, and let's hear how it all sounds together. Okay? I don't know what happened to this part on the top. Somehow it got deleted. So I'm going to copy this, right? Copy. That's right-clicking. I'm going to go over here to the beginning. I'm going to right-click, paste. Okay? And I'm going to drag it out to its full length. Right? Remember how we had chopped it off here. This is actually the full length of the beat we recorded. I'm going to turn cycle off, and I'm going to listen to the whole piece. Now we have our break coming up. And we've added this extra track to the break. Okay. Now, I want to edit this because I don't like this last little sound here. So when I want to edit this, I can put my mouse over this and click on edit. Now what's going to happen is I get this drop down. If I click on edit notes, oh my god, what do we get? We get this thing that looks like a piano keyboard and a piano roll. I don't know if any of you have ever seen an old-fashioned player piano, but this is how they worked. Okay, you can actually edit this in the piano roll, though it's a little inconvenient because we don't know what drum sounds are associated with which piano keys. Okay, so we can go back to patterns to edit our pattern, but oh my god, I don't see the pattern here. Why is that? Okay, that is because where the cursor is not over our pattern, right? So even if I move the cursor, I still don't see the pattern down here in my edit window. What I have to do is go down here to my edit window, right? Oops, mine's a little bit big, and move the scroll bar till I get to the point where my notes are. Here they are, right here. And so I could turn cycle on. The cycle I might just do for here, right? So now I'm going to play my cycle. Alright, I don't like this. Maybe I'll put one here. Undo that. Okay. Not sure I like that, but we'll leave it for now. Get rid of that. Maybe I don't like it. I'm just going to highlight it and delete it. Gone. Okay? So I'm experimenting around. I'll save again. Other things you might want to experiment with are effects. And let's hear how that sounds now. We put a lot more reverb on it. And let's just do this bit because that's all we want to hear. Move our cursor. Press play. You hear all that reverb now? Alright, let's turn down the reverb a little bit. That's cool. I like that. Right? Let me stop. What if I wanted to start with some reverb and increase it while it's going? Okay? That's what this last little thing is about. We're adding automation. In this case, since it's free, we can only do one automation. Maybe we pan it, meaning it goes from one speaker to the other. Let's hear how that sounds. Now if you have headphones on, you can hear how that goes from left to right. Okay? That's pretty awesome. Let's save that again. We can do other things. We can rename this track, break, which is what it is, right? I might name this basic loop. Save it again. Alright. Now, there are a couple of other things we can do here, and I'm going to end the tutorial. One thing is we can share, okay? What's cool about this is that we can actually collaborate together on this track. If I put in somebody's email here, right? Oh, these are all people that are on SoundTrap, so you have to be on SoundTrap, right? And they will become part of this track so that we can work together on the track. Or I could copy this link and paste it into an email it to someone, and they can actually join my project and we can work together remotely on the same project. That's a pretty cool feature. Okay, now the last thing after that is I'm going to call it something. So I'm going to call it JT's 44 mix, right? I'm going to have to save that. Okay, now here's a cool thing. And this is different from the way we instructed you to do it. I'm going to exit the studio and I'm going to look at my projects. And all of a sudden, here's my project, okay? Instead of recording it with Piezo or the other program I told you about, you can go to this menu and you can download it. I'll allow downloads. And it has downloaded as an MP3 file. I'm going to show this in my Finder, and there it is right there. There it is. And then I can just drag and drop that into my DJ Serato. So that's a much easier way to get the file as an MP3. Now the other thing I want to show you is creating a 3/4 track. So again, I'm going to enter the studio, mobile app. I'm going to make music, right? Now the first thing I'm going to do is go over here to settings and change the time signature to 3/4. Okay? So now if I go into Patterns Beatmaker, you can see I now have 3 beats divided into 4 bits. 1, 2, 3. And so I can go off and maybe choose my tempo right away. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a slower one. I'm going to record my metronome. I'm going to have a count off 2 bars. 2, 3. Here we go. I have a kick drum on every beat. Now I'm starting to get some rhythm there. And so on and so forth. A lot of other things you can do with this. Lots of stuff to play around with. So have a great time. I'm going to save this as my 3/4 number 1. Save. Exit my studio. Download my project. And then use that as my second track for my final mix.